What is literature? Let's talk about literature in the POV of the College of Education. Let me share with you kung ano yung mga tinuro ng mga prof namin. Literature came from the Latin word literatura, which means learning or writing grammar. Meanwhile, ang literatura naman ay galing sa salitang litera, which means letter. So basically, literature involves writing. Lahat-lahat ng books or anything that is written ay tinatawag nating literature. But in spite of this, the term has also been applied to spoken or sung text. Well, may mga literature din naman kasi talaga na under ng literary genres na intended to be performed kagaya ng drama, habang ang lyric poems naman ay talagang musical. Although may debates pa rin kung ang mga kanta ba ay may consider talaga na literature. Sabi naman ni Merriam-Webster, literature is a written work that is considered to be very good and to have lasting importance. So may consideration, it has to be really good at talagang may kahalagahan at tumatatak. Sabi naman ni Ezra, isang influential na American poet, ang literature daw ay news that stays news. Kasi naman, relevant talaga siya in all ages. Di ba nga, most people still love reading the classic literature of old times. Kahit 2023 na ngayon, they still have that impact. Sabi naman ni Henry Van Dyke, isang American author na nakilala sa mga akda niyang The Story of the Other Wise Man at The First Christmas Tree, it consists of those writings which interpret the meanings of nature and life in words of charm and power, touched with the personality of the author in artistic forms of permanent interest. So ang literature, nagpapakita siya ng nature and life. Ipinapakita niya ito sa pamamagitan ng mga powerful and charming words in a very artistic way, kung saan nandun pa rin yung personality ng author according sa kanya-kanyang style ng pagsasalat. Finally, itong definition na binabanggit na rin ang characteristics niya wherein ito talagang lumalabas sa quizzes namin noon. Literature is a written work that demonstrates a level of excellence with no to structure, form, and convention while conveying a story that teaches the readers about human conditions. Basically, hindi mo may aalis na written work ang literature because all literature are written but may quality aspect din siya. Hindi siya basta sinulat dahil ang literature ay may level of excellence. Dapat ito ay meron ding tinatawag na aesthetic quality o yung kahusayan when it comes sa pagkasulat nito, sa form and even sa structures. And may mensahe lagi ito sa readers. May napupulot tayong aral at talaga namang relatable din ito kasi nga ipinapakita nito yung human conditions in different timelines. Now let us proceed with the literary standards. Ano naman ang literary standards? Sabi ni William J. Long sa kanyang textbook na English Literature, its history and its significance for the life of the English-speaking world, a literature must possess the following characteristics to be qualified as literature. Let's discuss them one by one. First is universality. A literary piece must appeal to anyone regardless of reader's cultural background, race, sexual preference, and age. Everyone must be able to relate to it. Basically, dapat relatable siya para sa lahat. Dapat daw ang isang literary piece ay nakakakuha ng atensyon ng kahit na sino man, anuman ang kanilang kultura, rasa, sexual preferences, or edad. Bata o matanda, makakarelate siya, babasahin niya ito. Lalaki, babae, or no matter what gender, hindi sila ma-offend. And anuman yung kanilang kultura o rasa, hindi din sila ma-offend pag binasa nila ito, but rather babasahin pa nila ito. And literature that has crossed the borders of nations without being banned could be considered universal. Next is artistry or aesthetic value. A literary piece must possess an aesthetic appeal. The words that are put together must charm the readers. Basically, pag may aesthetic value ang literature, talagang na-attract ang mga readers doon pa lang sa pagbabasa nila ng piece. The piece is painted by words na magaganda at maayos yung pagka-organize, in order talaga, tapos na ipapakita yung kwento na gustong ibahagi ng author. Kumbaga, there is a nice diction. Sunod naman, intellectual value. A literary piece must empower the critical thinking of the readers. It must enrich the mental processes of abstract and reasoning of man, making him realize the fundamental truths of life and its nature. Basically, napapaisip ng literature yung mga viewers o yung mga nagbabasa nito. It enables critical thinking lalo na kung may mga references sila sa reality, kung whether it is a science or history or culture ba yan, talagang na-enable ng literature yung critical thinking. Hindi lang siya basta nag-entertain, kundi napapaisip din yung mga readers. Fourth is the suggestiveness or the emotional value. A literary piece must untangle and invokes man's emotional power to define symbolisms, nuances, implied meanings, images, and messages, giving and evoking visions above and beyond the plane of ordinary life and experiences. Basically, through that literary piece, naapektuhan yung emosyon. This doesn't only mean na mapapaiyak tayo or magagalit tayo, but rather, it is about how we are able to connect to it, how we relate to it. It builds a connection with us, the readers. Panglima, yung spiritual value. A literary piece must uplift the spirit and the soul. It must have the power to motivate and inspire, drawn from the suggested morals or lessons of the different literary genres. Basically, this is about the power of literature to uplift our spirits, yung ma-inspire tayo, yung mapakilos tayo. The lessons or the values we learn from it pushes us to move or to somehow change our views or ways. Sunod naman is permanence. A literary piece must endure time. It must not occur only at a specific time. Basically, ang literature na mayroong permanence ay hindi nalalaos. Gaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, kahit classic pa yan, kahit luma na yan, patok pa rin siya hanggang ngayon. And finally, style. Style refers to the distinct way of the author or the distinct way the author expresses his or her thoughts. Words can be used in unique, creative, and entertaining ways that make the work remarkable or memorable. So from the word itself, styled, ito yung way kung paano sinusulat ng author yung literary piece. May kanya-kanyang style sila that makes their work remarkable. So those are the 7 literary standards according to William J. Long. For our recapitulation, to recap, literature came from the Latin word literatura, meaning learning, writing, grammar, which then came from the word litera, which means letter. According to Merriam-Webster, literature is a written work that is considered to be very good and to have lasting importance. Sabi naman ni Ezra, ang literature daw ay news that stays news. Sabi naman ni Henry van Dyke, it consists of writing which interpret the meanings of nature and life, in words of charm and powers, touch with the personality of the author in artistic forms of permanent interest. Meanwhile, mayroong tinatawag na literary standards ayon kay William J. Long based sa kanyang textbook na English Literature, its history and its significance for the life of the English-speaking world. The 7 literary standards are namely universality, artistry or aesthetic value, intellectual value, suggestiveness or the emotional value, spiritual value, permanence, and style. So basically, that's it for our literature video. If you like more videos like this, subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching.